This is Monica. You have made it to my mini course. Thank you and welcome. So, what I have in store for you is I want you to get an opportunity to really see how your life can change by manifesting effectively. Okay? So, I've talked about how we are always manifesting, and it's true. We're always manifesting. It's what it is you're bringing to you that's probably bringing you dissatisfaction, right? And that is where we have to start fine tuning our skills of manifesting, okay? Because it is a skill. It's more than woo woo magic or whatever. Some people, or they're going through the motions. That's another thing that I've been noticing. When really you have to, it is a whole new lifestyle. And a part of this new lifestyle is that you've got to know your reasons why. And another reason why I wanted to make sure I provided you with a mini course with more focused explanation about why you're doing certain things, and so that the understanding can be embodied. Okay? This is more than just I wish for this, I want abundance, and I'm not knocking that, but we also have to learn that it is a mindset, it is a skill. And before we go any further, you may at times hear and see my cat. He is a Manx. He is tailless. Right now he's looking at me suspiciously. He is very smart. He is 16 years old and very still active, very annoying. I wish I taught him tricks when he was younger. Oh well. I have to deal with it now. But anyway. So any interruptions would most likely be him. Okay? So yeah. The first aspect of manifesting, as I have started putting these things together, and I'm going to use my phone as reference. So cleaning house. This is where you really take inventory, take stock of what has brought you here to this point in your life. That you're unhappy, dissatisfied. It is the things that you've consumed, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. I'm going to give you some things I've picked up along my journey. Is that from age 0 up until about 6 or 7, developmentally, a child is learning about the world, about how the world functions, how society functions. This is also, as a lot of people will say, a child can learn several different languages easier than an adult. It's because they're learning about the world. They can easily pick up a different language. They are malleable. They are easily influenced. This is the age from 0 to 6 or 7 is where they learn how to be an adult or learn what it takes to be an adult. So they learn things like, how to make other people happy, how to make a living in the society they live in, how to have a relationship with a love partner. This is where they learn these things, whether you think so or not. And if you think about, that is, if you can remember, believe it or not, I've run into people who, they don't have a memory, or they don't think they have a memory up until like the 1st or 2nd grade. And that baffles me. But anyway, so think about the things that you learned when you were small. Think about the television, the movies, the books that your family let you consume when you were small. Those are the stories that were put inside of you. And so when you're now an adult, you find that things don't happen the way that they taught you or programmed into you. There is no such thing as happily ever after. So when we watch those fairy tale movies, I don't want to name the name. Ooh, it's also about to rain. Nice. Fairy tale movies and things like that, and we're taught and trained that every conflict has a happily ever after. That's not true. That is a disservice to a child. And I'm only speaking in Western world societies. Western world societies. I'm not necessarily talking about African or Asian societies or Pacific Islander societies. I'm thinking Western world, okay? Where, oh, if you dress in the right kind of clothes, if you are young and pretty enough, then, you know, you will earn and deserve love. That's the society that we live in. So there's, you know, how we've grown up and how we've learned to function in the world through the things we've consumed as a child up until this very moment here where we are right now. Okay? So as you think about those things, and you think about not just those items, think about the people who've influenced you. I'm talking about family, and I'm talking about friends. They have made you who you are. And yes, that can be a badge of honor, but it also can be something that, if you're not paying attention, could not benefit you. One of the more common things that people run into is their money story or their relationship with money. So your parents may have said, oh, money doesn't grow on trees. You got to work hard for your money. You've got to get that good job so you can earn a lot of money to be successful in life. I'm trying to think of anything. Oh, nothing in life is free. Okay, you know, so think about all those things, those money stories that our family gave to us. And yeah, you may even have observed how your family struggled. I know I'm one, you know, on a lot of aspects. But then I also saw my family not struggle. So we all have those seasons. So I'm not saying don't be realistic, but think about what your relationship is with certain things, and think about how the people around you shape that. Now, I don't want you blaming them because they're in it just like you. They got trained, they got programmed the same way. Okay? So it's not about blaming somebody. It's not making other people feel bad. This is about course correction. It's like when we know better, we do better. Yes, your father may have worked 40 plus hours, but they never saw you, and that was the sacrifice for them at that time. Maybe your mother was a single mother and she worked 2 and 3 jobs. That was the sacrifice, and that's what you saw. We can rewrite that, not the past, but rewrite it inside of you. We have come upon a time in our life that abundance, true abundance, is recognized and realized. And with that, you've got to let go of the old stories. Okay? So that's your first assignment in this mini course. You're going to clean house. Okay? You're going to notice now, yes, you can literally clean house, or you can mentally notice clean house. So you might want to start journaling. This is also a good time to really not just have your ideas and your thoughts run around loose. You probably need to capture them so that you can really be thinking about that and really working on it for yourself. Identifying your emotions. I may show you how to, there's no real rule on keeping a journal. It's like, write it down. Just write it down. But anyway, having something to document so that you can have a record of what you're doing. Okay? Letting it go, pushing it away, understanding how it got there so you can root it out. Okay? So, so cleaning house, recognizing what kind of things that you see about I guess we'll call it the 3 major things that most people have dissatisfaction in life. Money, love, romance, money, love, career, purpose. Okay? So make those categories. That would be a great way to start. Like, think back. What movies did you watch that made you think that it's okay to go do certain things for money? What movies did you watch that taught you how to be in a relationship? Okay? Write down what inspired you to be where you are today as, your career, your job. And I would prefer say purpose, because maybe after some time you will discover you might not want what you have as a career, and that's okay. Like I said, this is about course correction. Okay? So write these things down. Start noticing. And then that's from the past. Now, in the present, in your everyday life, yes, you're going to have to do some eliminations. I know this might hurt a lot of people's feelings. You might, I say this a lot, it might hurt a lot of people's feelings, but how badly do you want it? Okay? And know that you can do this in layers. So don't feel like it has to be like all of this at once. Do this in layers if you need to. What TV do you watch? What movies do you watch? What music, lyric-wise, do you listen to? What information that tells you about the world do you consume daily or weekly? Do you read the newspaper, magazines, watch the news? You really are going to have to start looking at that or changing that. And I can tell you what I've done. Like, I like knowing what's going on around the world, but I also knew I had to make some adjustments some years ago. First of all, I kind of stopped watching TV for the most part. Yeah, I don't really watch television. I do like watching news, but I watch it mindfully. Um, I don't like network news, like, for example, your local town or city. Most times they start off with the tragedies. And if you start to notice that, you'll start to see that. Okay? Most times they'll start off with the fires, the car accidents, the whatever is like out there. So I mean, they're looking to catch people's attention, and that's usually one of the best ways to do that. And I also, let's see what else. Hmm. I kind of am into sports, but not really into sports. So I'm into sports. I like to watch the strategy of the game. I'm not a fan of any team. Like, I can literally go to probably any sports game and enjoy the playing of the game and not necessarily have a team that I root for, because I'm not consumed with the idea of territory. Okay? Territory and in tribalism and things like that. So yeah, so television, movies, music with words, that is, that you consume, books, magazines, the news, however you consume it. One thing I did, even your social media, okay? If you, like I said, it depends on how serious you are here. So in 2016, during the presidential election, I kind of had a feeling about how things were about to go down. I had a feeling. And it took me almost a week or two to adjust my Facebook feed to the point where, and even then afterwards, I still, like, I was not to where it was kind of more uplifting, if that made sense. So I chose news outlets that are international versus national. That's one thing I did. I have my top ones that I like, and I had like from basically almost from the different corners of the world. Okay, and the reason being so that I can actually see the world versus focus on just the United States. Okay. It is my hope that this course helps people from around the world. So even if you are living in South America or you're living in India, you're gonna have to change your news consumption around a little bit, okay, to gear it away from news that is trying to get you to feel fear and worry and dread. Okay? When you get stronger mentally and spiritually, it won't matter, because then you'll be looking through eyes of like, oh, so this is what they're doing. You know what's happening. You are aware. You are conscious, literally. Okay? So, but for now, you're going to have to find a way to just eliminate that from your phone. Entertainment purposes, at the very least, I know this is hard. You just got to be really careful about what you're consuming, and or journal about it so that you're aware of what's happening. Some people do ask me, what do I do for entertainment? I mean, I'll watch a movie every once in a while. What I am into right now is actually Korean movies, because they don't necessarily follow the formula that American and Western style movies follow, and it keeps me like on my toes, like so it keeps me not like lulled into the programming of boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy fights for girl, and he gets her in the end, that kind of thing. So it's like, I don't want to do all that, even though they kind of do it, but I'm aware. So really be mindful of what you're consuming for entertainment purposes. Okay. Let's see. Negativity. So this is the tough part when it comes to people around you. A lot of people do have that struggle. I still have that struggle. I think one of the things you should be doing in the mornings, and if you've watched my YouTube channel, it's like you really have to set the intention for the day. You've got to give yourself your me time and enough of it for you to be able to handle the day. You set the tone for the day. You don't let other people do it. That's why I wake up at 4:30 in the morning, because I don't want, even though I do use the alarm clocks, I don't want the alarm clock at, and I'm supposed to be at work at 7:30 as a teacher, a little one. Like, I still love them. I love them. But from 7:30 on, my day is not mine. Okay, I devote myself to the children. I am their caretaker and their educator. Okay, so I give myself my me time. I set my intention for the day. I try my best. Sometimes you never know what happens. Sometimes you will run up against a person that has, they're just bitter because that's how they set their life. Think about it. Okay, so if you tell me if I'm wrong, if you wake up with an alarm clock and you have that snooze and you use your snooze 3 times, you've already set your intention for the day that you don't want to face the day. Tell me if I'm wrong. Okay? And then you go and you get your morning drink. Most likely it's coffee, or who knows, a sports drink with the caffeine in it, because you don't want to face the day. You need a chemical substance to help you deal with the day. Okay? That's what I mean by set your intention for the day. You change it. Experiment. Okay? If you feel like it doesn't work, okay, at least you tried it, right? Find a way. Write it out. Plan it out. Now, I will say 41% of what people write down as a plan is more likely to happen than you don't have anything and you're just kind of like out here just doing whatever. Write it down. Plan it out. Plan out how your morning is going to work for you. If you do public transportation to get to where you need to go, most people do listen to sound things. Like, sometimes you might need to do that. Just put a little something on, get your little grooming going on. Most people have their alone time when they groom themselves in the morning. That's your intention time, okay? That's your time to intend for the day. Not dread for the day, because again, you just intended on dreading your day. You ruined your day. When you're in the shower and you're like, oh, I don't want to go to this meeting. You just took not just the meeting of an hour, but your 15 minutes too. You took your own time away from yourself by putting in that thought of, oh, I'm going to dread this. And you just emotionally dumped on yourself. That's not cool. So that's what I mean by the mental diet is important. It is important. That is your spiritual hygiene, if you really want to think about it. Okay? So this is, I'll call it day 1, because I think it is important for this to be the first. Like, you really have got to start noticing, paying attention to, or eliminating all of it, who knows, in layers, the things that made you who you are today, and start a intention routine. My personal advice would be alongside your grooming routines in the morning, because that's one of the few times that most people are alone on their own in their grooming. Okay? And we'll see how that goes. Now, before I close out on this very first lesson in your mini course, I'm going to introduce you to my sound bowl. I have a few, but I'm going to show you this one. throughout this whole video, you've been listening to some meditating music. Kind of sets the tone. The sound bowl, you're going to, I hope, practice mindfulness, and that's in one of the next courses coming. Is when you start to really not just pay attention to the outside world that made you who you are, you're going to start paying attention on the inside. Literally, your emotions and the sensations in your body. And being mindful and having a mindfulness practice is a part of that. So that your body's taking in the sensory things in the outside world, and your body is communicating to you things. For example, I don't want to triple into the next lesson, but for example, if you go outside and it's raining, you feel the raindrops on your skin, and that your skin is saying you're wet, and you're like, wait, I have clothes on, how am I wet, why am I wet? Your brain is like, oh, because it's raining, and you're going to get completely wet because your skin and your eyes, I hope, and maybe your ears told you that. All of that information put in tells you that if you don't want your whole body and your clothes and your shoes and your socks to get wet, you need to have an umbrella. That's what I mean by mindfulness. The stimulation around us, not just what that example gave, but how somebody talks to you, how you respond to certain things in the world. Your body does communicate to you, and that's your next lesson coming. Okay? So I'm going to close this lesson with the sound bowl, where you will practice listening. You might find things on YouTube. That's cool. That's fine. I also do sound work too, where you focus on that sound and you clear your body. I also do breath work, and I can show you a box breathing technique, which I've already put on YouTube, but I might do another. I noticed that it is thundering. One of the things I teach the kids is sit with your eyes closed. Notice 3 things outside of the classroom, sound-wise. Then I ask them, what do you notice inside of yourself, your body? Do you feel your heart beating? Do you feel your toe throbbing? Do you feel your chest moving up and down when you breathe? That's mindfulness. So one of your first exercises right now is going to be, I'm going to sound bowl. You're going to listen. And focus on that listening until it is done. That's a quick and short one. I'm going to do a louder one. I will do one final one. I will see you at your next session.